met lyding en hoop, verdriet en saam staan jy staan. Jy is altyd daar. Dit wat ons doen, ons liefdes, ons vreugdes, ons plekke, ons thuistes, tot daar waar ons reis, jy is daar. Afrikaans is ons wese. Dis die taal waarin ons groet, die taal is in ons bloed, is Afrikaans, vir ons mense. En ek stuur vir jou 'n sy, met 'n boodskap daarby, en waar jy is, sal jy dit kry, in Afrikaans vir ons mense. Al verander straatname, al word helde laat val, ons is steeds stuur ons adem, ons kultuur, ons verhaal, dit sal altyd bestaan. Afrikaans is ons wese. Dis die taal waarin ons groet, die taal is in ons bloed, is Afrikaans, vir ons mense. En ek stuur vir jou 'n sy, met 'n boodskap daarby, en waar jy is, sal jy dit kry, in Afrikaans vir ons mense. Ons is daarmee gebore, die taal waarvoor ons staan, dit vloei deur ons are, ons kinders praat het saam, dit sal altyd bestaan. Afrikaans is ons wese. Dis die taal waarin ons groet, die taal is in ons bloed, is Afrikaans, vir ons mense. En ek stuur vir jou 'n sy, met 'n boodskap daarby, en waar jy is. Dis die taal waarin ons groet, die taal is in ons bloed, is Afrikaans, vir ons mense. En ek stuur vir jou 'n sy, met 'n boodskap daarby, en waar jy is, sal jy dit kry, en Afrikaans vir ons mense. Afrikaans vir ons mense. Afrikaans vir my mense. Afrikaans vir ons mense.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Oh, that's a jam. Welcome back to the program, folks. Hey, do you guys eat fortune cookies? Do you like fortune cookies? Do you believe in them? I don't really believe in them, but, some dude putting printed stuff inside a cookie. But I had a fortune cookie. I had shrimp fried rice the other day, and so got my fortune cookie, and I just read my fortune. I suppose it won't come true if I tell you, but I don't think it's going to come true anyway, based on a piece of paper. But it says your business ventures will be successful and profitable. That's awesome. That's awesome sauce. When are we going to start making that coin? When's that coin going to show up? Make it rain, baby. Let's look in the wallet and see what we got. Woo! Still got those $2. And that's it. That's all that's in there, man. $2. $2. Just $2. I'll put that over here with my other collection of a couple loose dollar bills. Dollar bill. Dollar bill. Welcome back to the program, folks. It is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. It's Chris live in central Pennsylvania. Herzliche Glückwunsch. Servus. Bonjour. Bienvenue. Otsihidijang. How y'all doing out there? Good day. Well, let me greet everybody in the chat, and then we'll get into some of the news here. The Chi-Coms and the Governor of National Unity. Ooh, these South Africans have gone to China where they've gotten the endorsement for their government. Thank you, Chinese. Thank God we need that. Oh, we always hear all the nonsense and the racist bullshit against the West. Oh, as if we have to kowtow to the West. No, you don't kowtow to us. You're too busy on your knees licking the boots of the communists in China, the people that oppress the Tibetans, the people that oppress ethnic minorities who imprison Uyghurs, Muslims. Yeah, where's the Muslim world? Where's the Arab League? Where's the African National Congress? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Dylan says hello. Vilma Rasmus, well, I got a pain in my chest. Isn't this where your heart's at over here? Something going on over here. Anyway, George Steinberg, Ulrich Fenter. And then, what's we got? Ants is back. Good to see Ants. Teresa. Sorry, what's something going on over here with my phone? Pablo Charlie, Brian Lawrence, and Charmaine. Hello, Charmaine. Val. Teresa skipped right past all the ladies. Now, that's just rude. Sorry about that, ladies. Janet Liddy. Supernatural Crypto Coins. That's an interesting username. Welcome to you. And Allison Johnson is here, as well as Clive Streak and Shawnee Allen Kotza. Welcome, everybody. It's a pleasure to have all you back with me once again. I just did a video, just finished it about the Chinese communists. Got a lot of that going on, getting videos loaded up just before I go live. Picking videos and topics to address is always a challenge, folks. Hey, it's not always a simple process. You don't know what's going to resonate with people, but it's not just resonating, it's also putting it on the record. Something is simply, the most important thing is to put it on the record. And that's why I did so many of these videos with the Ronaldo story and with the Roman Kabadak stories, because people are putting things up on big media sites and they're making that the narrative, and it's actually false. So that's why I do it. Anyway, Alan Coates is here. Keith Alderson is in from Coventry. Fleshin in from Oxford. Hey, got the UK presence. Where is Hendo at? We're missing Hendo. And Kamaholo Makaba, welcome to you. Gina Mulman, good to see you again. Putin arrives in Mongolia, official visit. Yeah, no, that's not just in. He's already there. Covered that. And we're going to talk about how the media is running around. Oh, Mongolia could be in trouble. Oh, Mongolia didn't arrest him. Oh, I'm going to tell, you're in trouble. No. South Africa refused to arrest Omar Bashir. They violated the terms of the International Criminal Court back in 2017. And no consequences. We're going to talk about that. The hypocrisy of the International Criminal Court. It's just a joke, an absolute joke. Right now, oh my goodness, where have you been? You've been busy out making millions, I hope. Good to see you again. And Arc Precision says, Guten Tag. Guten Tag. Yeah, welcome to you. Right. Gosh bless it, what is that pain over here? That is a little disconcerting here. If I collapse, folks, call 911. Yeah, maybe I pulled a muscle in my ribcage, not sure. Might be all the coughing I did to clear my throat earlier. Anyway, folks, let's get to it. We've got some things to cover today. As I said, the Chicoms, the South Africans, have arrived in Beijing, Peking, so they can bow down on their knees and lick the boots of their communist overlords. Meanwhile, spewing racial hatred about the West. Oh, the evil white people and their racism. Yeah. No, the opposite of, opposite, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, well, let's get to it. All right. Where the heck are you guys hiding at here? There we go. China gives the government of national unity the green light. Well, thank you for the Chinese. We were just waiting for that to make sure it was legitimate. Mira says I'm getting old like everyone else. We're all getting older. Thankfully, it's better than the alternative. China gives government national unity green light as two nations strengthen relations. Oh, look at little Cyril there. Get a little Cheshire cat smile. Does he look devious or what? That's a devious look. Cyril, that's devious, brother. Well, Pastor Borro goes wackadoodle, full-on wackadoodle, folks. Unbelievable. This guy is out there. Paseka Motsanang, popularly known as Pastor Borro, gesturing in prayer at the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court. His request for bail to be reconsidered was postponed until next week as the state was not ready to proceed on Monday. Now, what kind of crap is that? See, that's BS. Look, I'm not a fan of Pastor Borro. I think he's a wackadoodle and also a criminal based on his actions of kidnapping kids from school with weapons. But denied bail because the state isn't ready? What kind of crap? Why can the state keep you in prison just because they're not ready to proceed? No. It's a bail hearing. It's not the trial. Ridiculous nonsense. He's facing charges including kidnapping, possession of dangerous weapon, wants the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court to release him on bail pending trial despite being denied during his previous appearance. Well, I would agree with him. Why is he being denied bail? He says he's relying on divine intervention during what he perceives to be unfair treatment due to his popularity. I'm trusting God. God is good and truth will always prevail. Well, yeah, let's hope so. He said his lawyer urged him to wait for the court to reconsider his application. He said, no, leave me alone, as he spoke out in court. Well, cuckoo. Next week, there'll be yen in the couch. That's right, Charmaine. There won't be dollars at Pala. Anybody? Hey, listen, folks. If you are planning a journey and you want to stay at a game ranch, my recommendation would be next week to visit Pala. And make sure you pull all the sofa cushions out, unzip the covers, look inside, look in the bed, check under the box spring, look around, look for some yen. Well, Mozzoledi says that this is the Swat Khafar. Oh, the Swat Khafar. It's hearkening back to apartheid. Anybody who opposes the communist takeover of the healthcare system is clearly an apartheid apologist. Oh, I had to get that out. No wonder I have chest pains. Oh, Minister of Health, lunatic, Aaron Mozzoledi, based on his idiotic comments, has slammed much of the coverage of the national health insurance, labeling it as reminiscent of the Swat Khava tactics seen during apartheid. Speaking at the 82nd International Pharmaceutical Federation Congress in Cape Town, Mozzoledi said that in trying to access the right to health care, even the best designed health systems, policies, initiatives will struggle to meet their objectives in the absence of adequate health care financing strategy. Duh. This is where universal health coverage comes in. Hey, moron. How do you think it's going to be financed? How do you think it's going to be financed? Just because you say it's going to be financed? I mean, the ANC said they were going to finance the water repairs in Grahamstown, and here we are 7 frickin' years later, and still not enough clean water and raw sewage pouring out in the streets of Grahamstown. Machada, what the heck are you talking about? Finance. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're just a government lunatic. He claimed that South Africa, this has raised fire and fury by those who wrongly believe that the elevation of others is automatically a downfall of fortunes for those who have already arrived, those who are clear beneficiaries of the present grossly unequal system. Listen, communist lunatic, here's a little news flash for you. Nobody is begrudging anybody adequate health care. That's not what it's about. See, this race hustling piece of human feces, a minister in the government of South Africa, tries to race hustle. Well, just raise fire and fury by those who wrongly believe that the elevation of others is automatically downfall of fortunes those who arrive. No, it's not. However, stealing private healthcare sector and putting under state control, a state that can't provide electricity, it can't fix roads, it can't manage trade, it can't provide safety for the public, it doesn't have functioning courts, and you want to give that to the state? Sit down. You know, I got something for him. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I used it in my video yesterday. Hang on. Let me get it here. Come on. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this computer. I got to do something. Something's going on with this folder. So, oh, well. Here's your sign. Here's your sign, Aaron Mozzoledi. You know, stupid people should wear signs. That way you wouldn't ask them questions. Hey, can you... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see your sign. Here's your sign. Yep. Aaron Mozzoledi. Nonsense. 45,000 rand for a passport, 1,000 for a birth certificate. Sounds like a good deal. Yes, home affairs, corrupt as all get out. And guess who's finding it? That's right, the DA minister who is cleaning house. But they don't bother to tell you that in the headline. They make it look like he's guilty. 45,000 rand for a passport, 1,000 for a birth certificate, how home affairs officials are selling South Africa. And so they put a picture of the minister of home affairs, a man who's not selling anything, a man who's identifying the theft. Wow, that is intellectually dishonest. Intellectually dishonest. Undocumented migrants, that would be criminal alien invaders, are buying South African birth certificates for as little as 1,000 rand, while a passport can cost up to 45,000 rand. According to Home Affairs Minister Leon Schreiber, 109 corruption cases were reported to the department's Counter-Corruption Security Services branch for investigation. Brazen syndicate leaders and officials operate at night at Home Affairs Department centers around the country to produce illegal documents. Well, there you go. But it's not Leon Schreiber. He's the one that's uncovered it. He's the one that's telling people about it. So it seems a bit unfair to come after him. Anyway, you got to say. Anyway, I got 155 files in there. They're big ones, though. Pablo Charlie's back with this Republican alliance. Dude, we heard from you. We heard from you. You've put it in the chat for 3 days now. It's starting to be a broken record. Leon Schreiber. Tragically, 10 killed in a bus crash in the mountains of the Western Cape. Seasonal farm workers, and that's horrible. That's the actual fatalities and the rescue workers there where the bus rolled over. You can see the top half has been sheared off of the bus. This is horrific. 10 people were killed on Monday when a bus crashed in the Van Rhijns Pass. I've driven through the Van Rhijns Pass. That's a beautiful drive, but man, oh man. Police members, emergency personnel dispatched to the scene where they were involved in the rescue operation. 29 victims were transported to nearby hospitals and 10 were declared dead at the scene. They're investigating the case of culpable homicide. My goodness. Executive Director of Rural and Farm Workers Development Organization, Billy Clausen, said they were mourning the death of farm workers who were from several towns in the Northern Cape. Convey our heartfelt thoughts and condolences to the families, friends, colleagues, and the injured farm workers and those who lost their lives, of course. Wow. Liquidation day. Day 0 for the South African Postal Service. I thought it was already out of business. Isn't South African Post Office already not working? Well, we know it's not working. That's why it's going to go out of business. South African Post Office, SAPO, says that its day 0 is approaching fast in October, the day when its cash reserves will run out and business rescue practitioners may have to liquidate it. So it's in bankruptcy. In an update on the embattled Postal Group's business rescue proceedings, it noted that it needed $3.8 billion bailout from the government to meet its business rescue plan needs to keep operating. Well, where's that money going to come from? Well, after weeks of back and forth inside the African National Congress, where there is turmoil, after that, we had a postal service. Wow. Yeah. Postnet's actually better. Yep. The African National Congress's Mtotlu apologizes unreservedly to Nwehow. ANC KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Secretary Becky Mtolu has unreservedly apologized to Nwehow for accusing its workers of being responsible for below par civil service. The organization had approached the courts to sue him, the ANC, for $2 million jointly and severally for comments made by the provincial leader. Nwehow is a member of the ANC's tripartite alliance partner, COSATU, and they felt slighted by the comments. Well, you can feel slighted by the comments, but the reality is that public service workers are atrocious. Service delivery is non-existent. South Africans struggle to do basic things like get driver's license. One freaking machine in the entire country. One machine. Seriously? A country of 60 million people has one machine manufactured in Germany? Hey, you tight asses, quit stealing the money and stuffing your mattresses. How about you spend the money the taxpayers give you and then we, the generous, evil, racist West, give you on things that matter, like buying another freaking machine from the Germans. Morons. Shoprite offloads its furniture business. 400 stores. Wow. South Africa's largest retailer, Shoprite, will sell its furniture unit to Pepkor. They have the Pep stores, as it focuses on expanding its specialist clothing, baby, outdoor, and pet stores. They announced the sale, and it will sell the business Pepkor for 3 billion rand in cash. 3 billion rand in cash. Wow. And this gives about 4% of the market capitalization of Pepkor. So it's pretty big. For Pepkor, the continent's biggest clothing retailer, which has struggled to scale up its business that sells beds, sofas, and appliances, the purchase will boost stores totals by quarter to 1,300. The group will be acquiring over 400 stores in South Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, Eswatini, and Zambia. Well, 3 billion rand. 3 billion rand. Let's see how many $100 million that is. Calculator. 3 million, 30 million, 300 million, 3 billion divided by 19. That is a coup $158 million. Not bad. Roger Rabbit, where have you been? You've been absent. Yeah, does anyone use the post office? That's part of the problem. Hey, folks, the truth from my broadband about Eskom and load shedding. Something I and many other people have told you, but it bears repeating. The reason why the energy availability factor is not leading to load shedding is because that's been aided significantly by the fact that 6 gigawatts of solar and alternative energy have been installed by small businesses, retirement homes, schools, and residents. So you have reduced the demand by 6 gigawatts of energy generation that Eskom doesn't have to provide anymore. That's why you don't have load shedding. Plus, the energy availability factor has increased a bit. Yep. Eskom recently provided a rosy summer outlook and business operations update that it has 160 days without load shedding. Well, that's pretty good. Pretty good. But the reason is because over 6,000 megawatts of electricity generation now sits on the rooftops of homes and businesses. That's why. Don't let the ANC lie to you. That's the truth. And I've been telling you that all along. 1,500 hectares of the Garden Route National Park destroyed after a lightning strike sparks massive blaze. Climate change! Climate change! There was never any lightning before climate change. Never happened. Yeah, this is nature. Mother Nature is a wicked little beast, isn't she? Yep. About 1,500 hectares of the Garden Route National Park have been destroyed in a wildfire that lightning strike caused in the Tsitsikamma section of the park on Monday. The blaze is inaccessible by foot due to the challenging terrain, but counter burns and aerial water bombing were used to prevent it from spreading further, according to South African national parks. Well, there you go. Look at that. Weather for today was unfavorable. Additional crews are expected to head to the area. 1,500 hectares after a lightning strike. That evil Mother Nature, man. Somebody go charge her with a crime. Reckless and crude is how the latest book by Peter du Toit, the author of the Stellenbosch Mafia, is about to make an appearance on bookshelves. He had inside knowledge talking to some of the cadres. Author Stellenbosch Mafia and the ANC billionaires Peter du Toit examines the impact of cater deployment on South Africa over the past 3 decades in his new book, The Super Caders. Wow. Relies on extensive interviews with Pravin Gordhan and Trevor Manuel, among others. Well, looking forward to that one, folks. The Super Caders. Should be interesting. That's a third big book for him. Hey, FlySAF Air has started a new international route from Cape Town to Windhoek, and I think I'll be going back to Namibia if I can scrounge around the extra money for them gouging me for the entry fee, the visa. But yeah, look at that, folks. Look at that. FlySAF Air will be launching a route from Cape Town once a week, going there and coming back. Low-cost airline FlySAF Air has a new flight between Cape Town and Windhoek. Flights will be the airline's first regional route out of Cape Town, with flights starting on October 22nd. A new international route. We've been waiting to break into the Windhoek market for a while, but the barrier until now has been aircraft availability, said Kirby Gordon, the chief marketing officer. And if you've ever flown on FlySAF Air, we all know who Kirby Gordon is. We may not have met him, we may not have seen him, but every damn time they play that asinine video, and I'm Kirby Gordon, the chief marketing officer for FlySAF Air. Yep. Having additional aircraft that we're basing in Cape Town is now enabling us to expand into a market with competitive fare. He said that tickets for the route will start at 1,800 Rand. Not bad. Not bad considering the distance. Yep. Nick says his friend is staying there this week. The fires aren't too bad. Pine tree fire breaks planted for exact design. Okay, well, that's good to hear. Good to hear. Lesotho has become a protectionist state. They are denying foreign nationals from owning certain sectors of the economy. Lesotho counts foreign-owned businesses say SA retailers must find local partners. Lesotho has rekindled moves to implement localization rules for certain localization. That's called protectionism. For certain types of business dominated by farmers. Indians, Chinese, and South Africans dominate the 47 reserved businesses. Well, that's interesting. From general dealers to barbers are reserved for locals under these rules. A total of 106 businesses were inspected and 80 belong to foreigners. The foreign-owned businesses account for 90% of the jobs in the sector. So their plan is to take the foreigners out of the equation, and then there'll be no jobs. Oh, what a brilliant solution there, Zimbabwe. I mean, Lesotho. Hey, folks, I see Ronaldo Jos is in the chat. Ronaldo, how's it going there? By the way, folks, as I said before, you can, if you'd like, if you are inclined to do so, you are welcome to go support Ronaldo. He's got some contributors over there now. And here we go. Let me just show you that real quick. That's the current state of things. Legal fund to support Ronaldo Jos in the fight against misinformation. Some of which I spewed yesterday by misreading the sentence at the bottom. I got corrected. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, good description of what's going on here. And then a note down here. So here's some of the donations. Oh, just got another donation. Yep. Anyway, so there you go, folks. Legal defense fund. Listen, this stuff takes a lot of money, and when people are fraudulently accused of things that they haven't done by an oppressive media outlet and an oppressive system, they need to fight back, and you can help fight back here. So, all right. Let me put that in once again, as we've been doing for the broadcast. Again, for the hate wankers who are busy self-pleasuring themselves right now, this reporting by me is reporting. It's not an endorsement. It's not an encouragement. It's not a denial. I'm simply telling you, if you want to support Ronaldo, it's there. If you don't want to, you don't have to. That's your prerogative, because the hate wankers are well, it's just supporting him. No, I'm just reporting on things. There you go. All right. Doing very good, very positive, made peace with whatever happens. All right. Okay. Thanks for the donation. Donation? Who gave you a donation? Okay. There you go. Sean says, I booked 2 tickets to Joburg and Safair. I'm not sure how they're still refunded to as a low-cost airline. Just words, they have become incredibly expensive. We're being screwed. Well, Sean, you got to remember the cost of their aviation-grade fuel is double what it was. The South African government has upped the taxes at airports for gate fees and things like that. All that plays a role. They are a low-cost airline, and from my perspective, I'll tell you what, flying in South Africa, fly Safair, is demonstrably cheaper than flying on Southwest, which is America's low-cost airline. It is crazy what Southwest charges. Yep. And yeah. Brian Cox says, hello, Ronaldo. Chris misses chats. Huh? Chris who? Yeah, Sean, it's a relative issue. I like coming to South Africa, and Airlink is expensive, but Fly Safair is reasonable most of the time. The key is picking the right time, getting the right flight. You can save a lot of money. I mean, one flight, 900 Rand versus 1,600 Rand just by taking the flight at 9 o'clock instead of going 11 o'clock. So sometimes that's what matters. Cheapest between Cape Town and PE, Fly Safair. I don't think it's expensive if you choose the right day. Yeah, see, Patrick, it's just a question. I understand where Sean's coming from there, but it is, look, going to Uppington, whew, that was expensive. That was like a $300 flight round trip from Joburg to Uppington when I went there the first time. That's crazy. That's a lot of money. Yep. But I got nothing but good things to say about Fly Safair. The airline is reliable. The aircraft are clean. The staff are friendly. They get the bags there every time. Yeah, I got good things to say about it. Airlink, no complaints about Airlink. I've had some good flights on Airlink. They're just a little pricier on some of the routes, but they go places others don't. So that's good. Uppington is hard to get to. Yeah, no, Nicholas, that's what it cost me to fly to Uppington. See, that's what's so funny when I get attacked by the hate wankers. And now, actually, in the end, the civil defense group up there did reimburse me for that flight. It took some time, but they did reimburse me for that flight. Yep. So anyway, but yeah, it was like $6,000. But I ate the cost of that for several months, and I would have eaten the cost of it. I went up there because I was asked to go, and I was able to do it. But again, I flew, 7-9 flights last time, and all of that cost me way less than one trip to South Africa. My trip to South Africa was outrageously expensive last time, and the time before that was expensive. The first one was okay when I started coming back in 2022. That one came in a very reasonable price to fly to South Africa, but it was a nightmare. I had to fly and wear a mask from Chicago to Frankfurt and then sit in the airport all day and then fly to South Africa and wear a mask again. It was stupid. Yep. Seats are just too small. Well, Ronaldo, you need to quit being cheap and buy the front row, the business class. I always buy it and make sure the seat next to me is empty. Yeah, Arc Precision Uppington seems like a decent place. Yep. I only spent a short time there. Promised a few things by the DA and those other parties, but I still see 60% of ANC. All alternative parties delivering the promise. Promise to what? Get more votes? Well, that's up to South Africans, not up to the parties. Party's pretty clear about their positions. People don't want to join them. That's on them. Anyway, folks, by the way, while we're talking about money, the super chat button does work. I guess that would be some e-begging there. 53 likes, 86 people currently here. I mean, we got 86 people and we have to count on Ronaldo being here. That's pretty sad. I mean, that's pretty hefty, pretty big haul there. We got to count on Ronaldo to be here just to get to 86. I'm sure people are hiding somewhere. But Lesotho is now going to resort to protectionism of its economy, chasing foreigners out, and that's just dumb. Every time that happens in a country, it goes badly. Look at America. Kamala Harris is trying to keep Nippon Steel from merging with U.S. Steel. That's a dumb protectionist move. Look, I have no problem with Japanese companies buying into American economy. They've been doing it for 40 years, and they've respected the traditions of American companies, and they've contributed to our economy. And we've got Toyota plants all over the country. We've got Sony owning movie theaters and movie houses, production houses. It's fine. More than 100 people killed in an escape attempt at the largest prison in the DRC. Failed jailbreak. More than 100 people killed while trying to escape from prison in the capital in the early hours of Monday. On a Twitter post, Jacquemaine Shabani said 129 people had died and 59 others were injured in the escape attempt at Makala prison. 24 of those who died were killed by gunfire, while the others lost their lives in a crush during the chaos. It also said a fire broke out and destroyed the prison's administrative buildings, registry, hospital, and food depots. Man, Shabani said the situation was under control. Investigation is taking place. Wow, they had a crisis meeting over it. I would imagine you have a crisis meeting over it. That's insane. Makala prison is the largest in the country. It was built to hold 1,500 prisoners, but it housed more than 12,000 as of October. At least 4,000 prisoners in 2017, more than half the population time, escaped after armed men stormed the building at night. More than 80 people were killed during that incident. Man, oh man, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to get in that prison. You're going to wind up in that crappy mess. What's going on here? This chair's doing like the old one now. It won't hold its position. It's sinking down there. That's why I had to change chairs. I'm pretty sick or tired of screwing up for the South Africans. Well, yeah, they're not the only ones. People vote for these parties. White people vote for these parties. Indians vote for those parties. So, a non-government organization is complaining about the Albertine Basin in Uganda, the site of significant oil deposits that have yet to be exploited. Just getting around to it now. The oil discovered by Tullow Oil, an Irish company, when I was in there in Uganda over a decade ago. And it's still not being exploited because of the slow pace by Yoweri Museveni. Well, they're complaining. Oil project co-owned by Total and CNOOC, the Chinese company now, because Tullow was sold out, is reported to involve sexual violence, forced evictions, and environmental damage. Okay. Local residents have faced forced evictions, threats, intimidation, and inadequate compensation for their land. Numerous women have reported sexual violence by soldiers and oil company employees. Why are soldiers at an oil site? Why are they there? The $10 billion investment includes drilling for oil in the Lake Albert area, the Albertine Basin, in northwestern Uganda, and building a 1,443-kilometer pipeline to ship the crude to Tanzania's Indian Ocean port of Tanga, which is where Lieutenant Colonel Paul Leto von Forbeck and his Askaris spiked the British in August of 1914. Spiked them hard. Tanga. Big victory. Ugandan Olympic runner is another victim of horrific gender-based violence. This is unbelievable what these scumbags do. Rebecca Cheptegei ran last month's Olympic marathon as burns over 75% of her body after a brutal attack by her boyfriend. Ugandan Olympic runner hospitalized in Kenya after being set on fire by her partner. Rebecca Cheptegei, who last month competed in the Paris Olympics, suffered burns to 3/4 of her body when her partner poured petrol on her and set her ablaze. What is wrong with these people? That man should have his cojones removed in a painful fashion and then be subjected to horrific punishment after that. Action SA is taking the IEC to court. I didn't see that. I would like to see that. I'll look for it. It wasn't in the news when I started this. Yeah, unbelievable. The sickness of people. Why would you do that to another human being? Well, we know if you're ISIS, you would do that to a Jordanian pilot, to a Muslim. Muslims murdering Muslims. Yeah, the language of peace, the faith of peace. Give me a break. Well, Randy Weingartner, the repulsive leader of the National Teachers Federation, is running her yap again. Remember her at the Democratic National Convention? Thought she was frickin' certifiable. Remember that? You guys remember that? Good God. Certifiable. Randy Weingartner blames Benjamin Netanyahu for the murder of 6 hostages. Really? Randy Weingartner puts blame on Netanyahu for hostage murders in Gaza. Anger must be placed at him. Seriously, what a fool. There she is, Randy Weingartner. And here's what she had to say. Our hearts are breaking for the families of the hostages Hamas murdered. At the same time, anger must be placed at Netanyahu's feet for his refusal to consummate ceasefire hostage release deal. Israel has had several ceasefires for humanitarian purposes and no hostages. The hostages are still being held. Israel has agreed to 2 ceasefires and Hamas has not. Stop blaming the victims, you moron. Maybe you should go walk a mile in their boots there, Randy Weingartner. But, this is why we have such screwed up school systems, because idiots like that unionize teachers, and that's their worldview. Well, on the eve of the FOCAC convention, China urges closer ties to Africa to counter surging hegemonism. Dozens of African leaders are gathering for the major diplomatic event in Beijing. China and Africa should work together to defend the interests of developing countries to counter surging hegemonism, China's special representative for African affairs said Tuesday. Speaking ahead of the 9th Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, or FOCAC. Surging hegemonism. Do you mean like China asserting itself by building fake islands in the Scarborough Shoal, in the Paracels, throughout the South China Sea, intimidating and using water cannons to endanger the lives of the Philippine Coast Guard, the Vietnamese Coast Guard, commercial shipping, building airfields, putting jets out there, flying to the airspace of neighboring states, that kind of hegemony, threatening the Chinese, or the Japanese, the Taiwanese, firing live ammunition at the island of Taiwan during a military exercise, forcing fishing fleets to return for their safety. Do you mean that kind of hegemony? Do you mean China breaking world rules on trade agreements so that they can have a protectionist economy? That kind of hegemony? Yeah, I think that China is acting and has been acting like a regional hegemon. Now they're trying to be a global hegemon for a long time. So I don't know what hegemony they're trying to counter. This is just gobbledygook crap. This is the nonsense spoken by communists and leftists. And they just lie about everything. The U.S. is a global hegemon. We were unchallenged global hegemon after the collapse of the Soviet Union for a few years, until Bill Clinton squandered that and George Bush squandered it as well. Now we have competing blocks. We have the U.S., China, and the European Union. They are combating hegemony. So they're combating themselves. It makes no sense whatsoever. They're just dishonest, and people are stupid and fall for it. Well, Xi Jinping's president for life calls on nations to unite against the iron curtains of confrontation. China will never seek hegemony on basis of strength. Really? Really? Never seek hegemony on the basis of strength. What the frick are you doing in the South China Sea? It's not China. It's international waters, dingus. You dingbat doorknob. Wow. Unbelievable, folks. Well, China is going to seek revenge against the Canadians who are now putting tariffs on the Chinese goods coming in. Well, China says they're going to do trade probes into some Canadian agriculture and chemical products. Well, last month, of course, Canada announced hefty tariffs on imports of Chinese electric vehicles, steel, and aluminum. So now China's planning on getting even. Tit for tat, tit for tat. And who pays the price? Consumers pay the price. Of course, the Chinese were cheating, so they got caught. Well, New Zealand has decided that they are going to be stupid leftist government functionaries, and they want to steal money out of tourist pockets. So they're tripling the tourist fee for New Zealand. Good luck with that. Peak Tourism Body says the hike will make South Pacific country incredibly expensive to visit. I don't know if that's true, but they'll triple their tax on international tourists. New Zealand announced plans to nearly triple the tax on international tourists, prompting backlash from the country's tourism industry. New Zealand's National Party-led coalition government said on Tuesday it would raise the so-called International Visitors Conservation and Tourism Levy from $35 to $100 starting on October 1st. Well, I guess we won't be going to New Zealand, just like we won't be going to Namibia. Tourism industry Aotearoa, the peak body for New Zealand's tourism sector, said the increase would make the country incredibly expensive to visit. The peak body said the hike, along with a recent 60% increase for visitor visa fees, would bring the cost of visiting New Zealand to as much as $500 New Zealand dollars per person, more than double the cost of visiting Canada and two-thirds more than visiting Australia. Wow. That sucks. Yeah, not a bright move but by the way, conservatives in charge of that government. Are they as dumb as the leftists? What the hell's going on there? Well, Cathay Pacific has grounded 15 planes for engine repairs. Whoa, that's not a good sign. Hong Kong Airline has canceled dozens of flights to inspect the Airbus A350 planes that it found a problem with the Rolls-Royce engine in one of them. So they grounded 15. Well, thank you for your prudence, Cathay Pacific. I've flown Cathay Pacific. It was okay. Hong Kong's flagship airline Cathay Pacific said on Tuesday that it found 15 of its Airbus planes required repair after an engine component failed on a plane headed to Zurich. They inspected all 48 planes in the Airbus fleet, including 3 that have been fixed by Tuesday. It said it canceled at least 34 round-trip flights since Monday because of the engine issue. All flights are expected to return to operation by Saturday. And I applaud Cathay Pacific for doing the right thing there. That's the right thing to do. We don't want planes falling out of the sky, man. That would be bad mojo. We've seen that before. Well, folks, yet another church in France is torched. Who's behind this? This stuff is getting out of hand. We've seen it with the Notre Dame was torched. They claimed that was just an accident. This is clearly arson, and Christianity is under attack in evil France. This is a church that survived the First and Second World War, and it's been torched by arsonists. The hatred and assault on Christians that's going on around the world is shocking, particularly coming from Europe, a place that venerated Christianity for centuries. Unbelievable. Well, Vladimir Putin is traveling to Mongolia, having some of that Mongolian barbecue, probably. I doubt that. It's an American invention. Putin shrugs off the International Criminal Court war crimes warrant on a visit to Mongolia. Ulaanbaatar welcomes the Russian leader, ignoring a warrant for alleged illegal deportation of Ukrainian children. Get war criminal Putin out of here, say protesters. An honor guard welcomed Putin at the Mongolian capital today as he arrived to meet the country's leader, Ukna-Kurasuk. Mongolia's blanked calls for it to arrest the Russian leader on the international warrant. Mongolia is a member of the International Criminal Court that issued an arrest warrant, so they're obliged to actually arrest him, except it's an illegitimate warrant because the crimes did not occur in any place under the jurisdiction of the International Court or Criminal Court. So it's just bogus. So Mongolia is right to ignore it. Well, that's not what CNBC says. CNBC says Mongolia is meant to arrest him, and it didn't, and now it's in trouble. Ooh, I'm going to tell. There's nothing remarkable about Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to Mongolia. He's due to meet the leader and hold talks on bilateral ties and attend a gala. What is unusual is that Mongolia, as a member of the International Criminal Court, should have arrested Russian president as soon as he landed on Mongolian soil. Mongolia's defiance of its obligations to the International Criminal Court are likely to have legal consequences. Legal consequences? Oh my goodness. Quick, get the attorneys in here. Hello, shyster, cheater, and lever. What's the deal? We need legal representation. We've defied the International Criminal Court. What do we do? Nothing? Okay, do nothing. Where have I seen this movie before? Defying the International Criminal Court. You can't do that. That's an all-encompassing global body that has authority over every human on this planet. Except it doesn't. It doesn't. Where have I seen someone defy the ICC's dictates before? Didn't I see that somewhere? Oh, yeah. It's our friends in South Africa, the ANC. The ICC. South Africa broke rules by failing to arrest Bashir. Pretoria went against the Rome Statute in 2015 by preventing prosecution of Sudan's leader for war crimes, according to the ICC. Look at this. It took them 2 years to make that determination. War crimes judges have ruled that South Africa flouted its duties in the International Court in 2015 by failing to arrest Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir. Kuno Tarfusser, the presiding judge, said that Pretoria's inaction was contrary to the court's guiding Rome statute and prevented it from prosecuting Bashir on 10 charges of war crimes, including 3 of genocide in Sudan's western Darfur region. Ooh, so dire consequences. Oh my goodness. What will happen to Mongolia? Will they be kicked out of the Olympics? Will they be denied entry into the NBA? I mean, what's going on? Well, there's legal consequences according to CNBC. Let's see. Defying the International Criminal Court. That results in, remember that famous sanction and what happened to South Africa? South Africa got in so much trouble for not taking Bashir, right? Wrong. The International Criminal Court declines to refer South Africa to the UN for not arresting Bashir. Looky there. 2 years after the fact, the International Criminal Court rebuked South Africa for not arresting Sudan's president on genocide warrant when he visited Joburg, but declined to refer them to the UN for possible censure over the lapse. Oh, so that's illegal action. They could have censured them. Oh, that's so terrible. We got censured. What are we going to do? Break my heart? Good Lord. Basically, the International Criminal Court has only the sovereignty that its signatory members choose to apply, which is how it was supposed to be set up. The court was set up so that if a country was unwilling or unable to prosecute people for crimes against humanity and war crimes, that the International Criminal Court would take the referral from that country to prosecute that individual or group of individuals. That is how the Rome Statute is written. That is the purpose of the court. Not this bullshit, well, Bashir committed a war crime, so here's a warrant. Sudan is not a signatory. No authority. Oh, Putin just kidnapped Ukrainian children. Ukraine, Russia, not signatories. You have no authority, no sovereignty. Shut up, sit down in the corner, be quiet. Where are the lawyers on this? It's not rocket science. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's another brilliant idea. Let's give Ukraine M1 Abrams tanks, the world's most advanced, successful tank on the battlefield. Let's give it to the Ukrainian grifters. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Well, these dumbasses have squandered all of the M1s in just a couple of months. And they're about to get their asses handed to them because the Russians are circling them and cutting them off on the flanks. What did I tell you? And wait for it to come in Kursk. It's coming there too. These stupid morons, and they're idiotic. They're going to have several brigades trapped and cut up piecemeal by the Russians as they starve them out. In February, 31 M1 Abrams tanks stood between the Russians and Pokrovsk. Today, maybe half are left. Wow. Russian troops raised the flag over a mine complex on the northern edge of Novohorodska on Thursday, marking the furthest advance of a 25-mile Avdiivka-Povers axis. 6 months after the ammunition-starved Ukrainian garrison fled the former fortress city. Now there's just one main trench between the advancing Russians and Pokrovsk, a key Ukrainian logistical hub in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk Oblast. And it's not clear the Ukrainians have deployed enough manpower to fill the trenches. All that to say that Pokrovsk, a city of a pre-war population of 60,000, is in big trouble. With meager reinforcements, Ukrainian armed forces sent to the area may not be able to save it. Yep. So they squandered the tanks. 6 months of brutal combat against a bigger Russian force has taken its toll on the elite 47th Mechanized Brigade. The 2,000-person unit rolled into battle in the east in February with all 31 M1 Abrams tanks the U.S. had pledged. Today the brigade is down to maybe half the Abrams, assuming not all of the visibly damaged tanks are repairable. It lost 2 in August despite protecting its 69-ton 4-person tanks with layers of add-on reactive armor. So, that's what's going on there. Now let's take a look at how perilous the situation is for the Ukrainians. Hundreds of Ukrainian troops are about to get surrounded south of Pokrovsk. A salient was formed west of the Vuchera River. Russian forces' march on Pokrovsk doesn't just imperil Pokrovsk, its vital supply lines, and its Ukrainian garrison, and any civilians still lingering in the city. It's also putting Ukrainian troops in a dangerous bind. A strong Russian force with potentially tens of thousands of troops has closed in with 6 miles. It has bypassed the strong Ukrainian force holding the line between the village of Memrik and the Vuchera River. Result is an exposed salient jutting eastward into the Russian line. A salient with a few decisive Russian maneuvers could turn into a trap for hundreds of Ukrainian troops. In the salient, elements of the 59th Motorized Infantry Brigade, the 68th Jaeger Brigade, the 117th Territorial Defense Brigade, and the 15th National Guard Brigade. It's a significant force, but one whose integrity depends on the 25th Airborne Brigade, which defends the village, or Ukronovsk on the salient's northern quarter. So right there, look at that. They're about to get cut off. And they will be eaten alive by the Russians and starved out, just like the Nazis and the Wehrmacht did against the Soviet forces. 2 U.S. Marines assaulted by fanatical bigots in Turkey. The U.S. Embassy in Turkey confirmed 2 service members from the USS Wasp, which was docked in Izmir. A pair of U.S. Marines in western Turkey have been ambushed and assaulted by members of a local anti-American group. The U.S. Embassy confirmed this. According to the statement from the Izmir local governor's office, 5 other U.S. soldiers saw the incident from a distance and helped their countrymen. Local authorities took 15 suspects into custody, and investigations are ongoing. No U.S. service members were detained. Wow. So, anti-American scumbags assaulting our military personnel walking on the street. According to TGB, the assault was connected to Israel's ongoing war against Hamas and to uproot U.S. imperialism and collaborators from our lands. Well, there is no imperialism in Turkey. It's a sovereign country. Shut up and go do your jail time. Idiots. Punch to the country claims Jewish groups, minorities, over the AfD victory. Holocaust survivors shocked at the extent of support for far-right party, while people of color fear for their safety. Why do they fear for their safety? As decades have passed, the group made up of those who had survived the unthinkable horrors of the Holocaust had slowly begun to rebuild their trust in Germany. Even as far-right movements gained strength in Hungary, France, and Italy, many in the group were certain that Germany had learned the lessons of the past. That trust was shattered on Sunday after a far-right party won a German state election. For survivors, this result obviously is deeply depressing. They thought that Germany, after the experience of the Holocaust, the rise of the Nazi Party, the SS, and everything, would be especially aware of the dangers of this ideology, and the people were fond of this ideology and try to bring it to politics. What ideology? Being right of center? It's not evil. What has the AfD said other than these illegal foreigners need to be out of the country? These people are just lunatics. And listen to this. Let me find this down here. This is really rich. Really rich. So, polls had long predicted the AfD would do well in the state elections, said Tariq Abu Chadi, professor of European politics, University of Oxford. Okay? Even so, large numbers of voters had turned up to cast their ballots for minority party. His fierce rhetoric against migrants, Muslims, and other minorities had left him reeling. As a German citizen, a queer person of color, it's simply devastating and frightening that at a very high turnout, over 30% of extreme right fascists, Abu Chadi said in social media. Tariq Abu Chadi, professor of European politics, University of Oxford. Oxford is in the United Kingdom. Yet he chooses to denigrate a political party that he's not even serving under. He is, as he mentioned correctly, a German citizen, a German national, but he's not German. Tariq Abu Chadi, a German citizen, a queer person of color. What a bunch of nonsense. What a bunch of nonsense. He offers no evidence that his claim is valid whatsoever. Anyway, for people like me, there's a basic question of being safe and being accepted in parts of the country. Why? What has the AfD done that has threatened you? Not a damn thing. You're just a bigot. You're just a bigot, a typical bigot. Yep. Former Volkswagen chief is finally going on trial, folks. Martin Winterkorn will finally go to court 9 years after the Dieselgate scandal, in which VW cooked the numbers and lied about how little pollution their diesel engines were releasing. Trial began today, 9 years after the auto giant admitted to cheating emissions tests, triggering global chaos in the industry. He's accused of conspiracy to commit fraud and faces up to 10 years in jail. Volkswagen in 2015 said it installed software to rig emissions level readings worldwide. The case against the former CEO relates to about 9 million vehicles sold in Europe and the U.S. whose buyers face financial losses running into hundreds of millions of euros. Winterkorn resigned as head of the VW Group, whose brands range from Porsche to Audi to Skoda and Seat, shortly after the crisis began. The 77-year-old was supposed to stand trial in 2021 along with 4 other VW executives, but proceedings against him were split off and postponed due to his poor health. But a court in Braunschweig announced earlier this year that proceedings against him would finally get underway this month. Wow. He's been accused of giving false testimony to a German parliamentary committee in 2017 when it was investigating the scandal. He said he knew of the existence of the defeat devices only in September 2015, but prosecutors claim it was much earlier. He already agreed to a settlement with Volkswagen under which he would pay the company 11 million euros in relation to the controversy. Wow. The fraud has already cost Volkswagen 30 billion euros in fines, legal fees, and compensation to car owners, mostly in the United States, and somehow they survived $33 billion penalty. That's insane. Well, the United States has seized Venezuelan president's private plane. I love it. Maduro, hey, asswipe. Look at this. The U.S. seized Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's official plane and flew it to America on Monday, marking a major escalation in the standoff between Washington and Caracas just weeks after the Biden regime accused Maduro of essentially stealing the country's July presidential election. The Justice Department said it seized the plane, a $13 million Dassault Falcon 900, while it was in the Dominican Republic, and it was flown to Florida at the request of the Biden regime based on violations of U.S. export control and sanctions laws. Well, that'll teach you to fly the Dominican Republic on holiday. We've got Maduro's plane now. That's funny. Venezuelan Attorney General, speaking of Venezuela, seeks arrest for opposition leader Edmundo Gonzalez. Wow. Unbelievable. Venezuela's Attorney General office has requested that an arrest warrant be issued for opposition leader Edmundo Gonzalez over his refusal to respond to 3 summonses to testify about an opposition website that published detailed information about the country's disputed presidential election. The arrest warrant request for the 75-year-old Gonzalez from the Democratic Unity Roundtable, electronic copy which was viewed by the Epoch Times, comes as part of a probe into his claim that he was the rightful victor. Accusations leveled against Gonzalez in the arrest warrant include usurping official functions, forging public documents, instigating public disobedience, conspiracy against the state, and sabotage. Sabotage. I could just picture this now, the 75-year-old out there hanging off the side of a bridge, attaching TNT to the pillars. Oh, my goodness. Well, Kamala Harris and creepy Joe Biden oppose the merger of Nippon Steel with U.S. Steel, and they are pandering to unions. And so what you'll get is a bankrupt U.S. Steel and no jobs instead of saving jobs. Vice President Kamala Harris used a joint campaign appearance with Sleepy Joe in Pennsylvania yesterday to say that U.S. Steel should remain domestically owned, concurring with the White House's months-long opposition to the country's planned sale to Japan's Nippon Steel. Well, if Joe Biden can sell our influence to the Ukraine, to Egypt, to China, why can't U.S. Steel sell itself to Nippon? Well, Alejandro Mayorkas is the great Santa. He gives away taxpayers' money. Yep, taxpayers foot the bill for Mayorkas' generosity. Employees were given $2.6 billion in paid vacation time. Extra. Homeland Security criminal Alejandro Mayorkas has given so much extra time to department employees that one of his agencies has had to create an internal system to help employees keep track of it. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service said its leave tracking tool will make it easier for supervisors to use actually using the generous time off that he has no authority to issue and defrauding taxpayers. There you go. Unbelievable, folks. Little Timmy Waltz, stolen valor. Timmy Waltz. Yep, his attorney general. Oh, that's scumbag. Remember him? Keith Ellison is celebrating Brazil's ban on Twitter. The Democrats celebrate censorship. Wow. Attorney General serving alongside Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota wrote a thank you message to Brazil on X days after the South African country started blocking the platform. Keith Ellison's Obrigado Brazil statement, which was posted in Portuguese on Monday, is generating widespread criticism from conservatives. The Democratic Party, same one that used to defend the First Amendment, now wants to destroy the First Amendment, said Elon Musk. And he's right. That's exactly what the Democrats are for. They're for censorship. Look at this. He said, now remember, Brazil blocked X, a free market free speech platform, largely free speech platform. And so Keith Ellison's response, Obrigado, Brazil. Wow, look at that. Former deputy chair of the Democratic National Committee, he thanks the tyrants for silencing X and tens of millions of Brazilian voices. Tens of millions of Brazilian voices. Wow. And why do they want X silenced? Because X is where people go to congregate the truth under the fascist regime in Brazil under Lula. Well, a New Hampshire man has been put in jail for his menacing 27 months for harassing journalists. New Hampshire man was sentenced to more than 2 years in prison for his role in a conspiracy to intimidate and harass local journalists after the outlet published a story that criticized a local businessman. Tucker Cockerline. Now there's a name, Tucker Cockerline. What the hell? A 33-year-old of Salem, New Hampshire, was part of a group that harassed and intimidated two local journalists. They spray painted threats and vulgar language on the homes of a reporter, her parents, and her editor, according to prosecutors. They also threw rocks and bricks to the windows of some of the homes. Wow. So he gets 27 months in prison. Wow. We'll see what your sexual orientation is when you come out, buddy. Hall of Fame WNBA basketball player Sheryl Swoopes is creating quite a controversy with her bigotry or racism. You decide. Unbelievable nonsense in attacking Caitlin Clark. She is a slimy individual. She's not alone. Lisa Leslie also did something stupid this week. The naked racist garbage directed against Caitlin Clark, who is single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, but mostly, she had a little help from Angel Reese, lifted the WNBA out of obscurity, filled stadiums, setting records that have never been achieved by Hall of Fame WNBA players in her first season. And of course, they all reveled in delight when she had a poor performance in her first game against the top-ranked team in the league. Aha, see, she's not ready for the WNBA. Aha, look at this white girl, she can't do it. And then they went 1 win and 8 losses in their first 9 games. And see, she's nothing. Now the team is 17-16 with a winning record in the playoff hunt, and she is setting record every single frickin' night. Caitlin Clark, who fires up the independent basketball team. And Sheryl Swoopes says, well, it's not her. It was because of Leah Boston. Leah Boston was there last year. They won 13 games. Caitlin Clark, 17 games. The best performance they've had in many years, since 2019. WNBA Hall of Famer Sheryl Swoopes leaks screenshots of alleged text with Caitlin Clark. I made a mistake. Wow. She was recently absent from regular duties as a broadcaster at one of Caitlin Clark's games, probably because they're going to fire her. WNBA Hall of Famer and current Dallas Wings broadcaster Sheryl Swoopes responded to a fan on Twitter who accused her of being unfair to Caitlin Clark. Swoop's post on Monday showed 3 images of her messages with a contact named Caitlin Clark that she claims took place on February 5th. Yeah, so here they are. Swoop's apology was for an incorrect statement she issued in the appearance on Gil Arena's podcast. Yeah. Anyway, Swoops incorrectly said that Clark stayed in college for 5 seasons and that she took over 40 shots a game while discussing the topic of how Clark broke the NCAA's all-time points record. But of course, this is what racists and race hustlers do, white or black. They diminish the accomplishments of people by lying about them. So Clark played just 4 seasons at college, not 5. And she averaged 22.7 shots per game, about half of what the lying Sheryl Swoopes said. Yep. Yep. So she's just digging a bigger hole here, Sheryl Swoopes. Outside the incorrect statement on Clark's collegiate career, Swoops has made several other comments about Clark that have drawn criticism. She recently praised Chicago player Diamond DeShields after a game in which DeShields mugged Clark from behind, committing a flagrant foul. It was only the latest in the series of controversial fouls by Sky committed on Caitlin Clark in their 4 meetings this year. Hours after Shields committed the flagrant assault on her, Swoops posted a screenshot of her notifications list on Instagram, which included a string of hate comments from a user referencing a spinal cord tumor DeShields overcame. Swoops wrote, "Head up, kid. Hate will not win. You are covered and ain't nothing these evil people can do about it. All love for you," in a post. Now, of course, Diamond DeShields is a thug who mugged and assaulted Caitlin Clark, whom she has serious penis envy over, even though neither have penises. You get the point. In August episode of the podcast, Queens of the Court, Swoops did not name Clark as a reason for the recent improvement of the Indiana Fever. Swoops only praised Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull. However, Clark has been the team's leading scorer during its win streak and is already one of the top scorers in the WNBA. ESPN host Stephen Smith responded to Swoops' statements in the episode and said the Hall of Famer was insane to do that. "Do you have any idea how that makes you look?" he said. He's black. Swoops clapped back at Smith as soon as she could. In response, says, "You talk about whomever and whatever you want on your podcast, correct? So why can't I? Also, did you listen to the entire episode?" "Nope. I have a personal relationship with these players, and they deserve recognition as well." Swoops' absence during the broadcast booth on Sunday, when Clark put up 28 points and 12 rebounds to lead Indiana to its 4th straight win and 6 in the last 7 games. Clark scored 595th point of her career, surpassing WNBA legend Tamika Catchings for the most in a single season by a rookie in Indiana Fever history. She finished the game with 617 points. Anyway, so it goes on and on. Just evil. It's at some point you just have to call it out. It's just racist. It's penis envy. Nancy Lieberman says her relationship with Sheryl Swoops is over because of Caitlin Clark texts. The relationship between 2 women basketball icons deteriorated due to a conversation about Caitlin Clark. The ongoing saga that centers around WNBA legend Sheryl Swoops' apparent aversion to acknowledging Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark's accomplishments took a strange, saddening turn on Monday. Nancy Lieberman, who went out of her way to praise Clark during the podcast The Fever's most recent game, made a Monday appearance on the Stephen Smith Show. While there, Lieberman spoke out about how a conversation about the Fever rookie ruined her and Swoops' friendship. Yep. So she said, Swoops said Caitlin, a 5th-year senior, is talking about taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate. That's what she said, referencing Swoops' controversial comments on that YouTube show back in January. She said, "I got off the treadmill and called Swoops as a friend. And I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you have to get the statistics right." And that's what I've been saying in the Roman Kabanak and the Ronaldo Jose episodes. You can have whatever opinion you want, but you better bring the facts and tell the truth. She said, "I mean, the facts matter," Lieberman continued, before noting that Swoops had just admitted that she had the facts wrong after saying the entire controversy would have been blown over. Well, she got upset with me on the phone, and it was like, "Sheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing." And so our relationship pretty much is not happening at this point. Well, good. Sheryl Swoops is exposing herself as a bigot or a racist and a hater of Caitlin Clark, the most exciting person to ever appear in the WNBA. Look, I get excited watching this woman. It's not because she's white. It's not because she's from Iowa. I used to live in Iowa. It's because it reminds me of Jordan. Man, and her game is improving as she goes. Now she's got a running layup, a one-legged layup. It's just a floating layup. She never had that before in her game. She finds people wide open all over the place. She gets people all over the place. She sinks threes from NBA distance, not the lady WNBA distance, but she goes out and sinks them. Her threes have the average furthest distance from any player in the league. She's unbelievable and only getting better. And these people can't admit it because she's white. That's what bothers them. She's white. Also because she just came in the league. It's not right that she gets to do this. We've been here forever. Get over yourselves. Hey, folks, Jupiter's Ganymede, that's the moon, was struck by an asteroid bigger than the dinosaur-killing rock that landed in the Caribbean basin here on Earth. Wow. The impact may have caused the largest moon in the solar system to swing on its axis. It was so hard hit. But it's okay. Don't worry about it. It wasn't recently. It wasn't recently. It wasn't recently. Largest moon in the solar system was struck by an ancient asteroid 20 times bigger than the rock that clattered to Earth and ended the reign of the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. The devastating impact took place 4 billion years ago. And it caused Ganymede, one of nearly 100 known moons of Jupiter, to spin around such that the impact crater faces almost directly away from the gas giant. According to computer models, the asteroid most likely 185 miles across and struck at an angle of 69 degrees. It's amazing it didn't split the damn moon. That's crazy. But hey, 4 billion years ago. Don't sweat it. Former ISS International Space Station commander, got some bad news. Chris Hadfield issues a chilling response to the astronauts stuck in space as NASA finally reveals the source of the pinging noise coming from Boeing's Starliner. Boeing's doomed Starliner craft hit the headlines once again this week after it started making strange sounds. Butch Wilmore, one of two astronauts stuck on the space station, recorded the capsule emitting an eerie ping reminiscent of a submarine radar sonar. NASA has now confirmed the noise was the product of feedback from the speaker. Feedback from the speaker. Are we supposed to believe that? There you have the news for today, folks. And we're down to 72 people. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Take a little pause here for a second. Just 75 likes. What's up with that? All right. All right. Let's get back here and see some of the chat over here. Right. Where was that here? Go back quite a ways. You guys are chatting a lot here today, a little bit better than normal. Okay, I was there. Okay, that was Ronaldo was here. Tyranny, authoritarianism falls under one conditional party. Communism, New World Order. It's now WF. Can watch the hockey in Cape Town, so why would I visit New Zealand? New Zealand's much more than rugby, too. They can stick it. Yep. Wouldn't want to visit New Zealand or Oz for free, says me again. Mike says, come on, isn't New Zealand just acting another way to limit free travel per... No, they're just stealing money out of your pocket. There's no justification for this. Sean says New Zealand is on top of the woke nanny state list. Yep. Even though conservatives have taken over, they haven't really changed yet. Artie says, Cathay doesn't have any choice. 2 engine failures ensure success, and they can close their doors. Not surviving the Third World War. The elites that bought property in New Zealand during COVID want to keep the riffraff out of their playground. Yeah, I think that's right. Expensive is just another way to say exclusive. Exactly. Crocotopia, who cares about the ICC? It's biased. Well, yeah. Pablo Charlie, state proof or flee the country before 2020 elections. He's still going on about that. And this says you have to use code words to get past it. Yeah, okay. Kurt says UN is a waste of taxpayers' money. Seems like they like to sponsor dictators. Yep. Cabello, afternoon, folks, from communist South Africa. Yep. Okay. All right. I just watched a comment on ScrewTube censorship based on real-time editor nefarious. I don't know. Mongolia is rich in minerals. Oh, it is. It is. All kinds of minerals. Gold, molybdenum, copper, tin. Putin's just brokering deals. Yep. Pablo says we got a crisis coming. Okay. ICC self-appointed pompous empty sack. Keith says, I'm sure Mongolia will not be allowed to sing at the Eurovision. That's what it is. That's the sanction. Serious legal consequences for Mongolia for not arresting Vladimir Putin. They will be banned from the Eurovision contest. Count the money. Count the money. Count the money. Di monnaie. Di monnaie. Count the money. Dark tech. Okay. Ukraine winning at all costs is ultimately a loss. Okay. Mongolian heavy metal music with that crazy throat singing is terrifying. Yeah, we haven't seen Zelensky running around begging for money lately, have we? RJ is here. Perpetual guilt mongers and hustlers, says Mike. I said that Paul Mashatile would not be the next ANC president. He begs to differ, calling for Western Cape referendum. Okay, Pablo, that's your view. It's different than mine. ANC's already eating itself from inside. Yep. ANC can work with whoever is in South Africa to stop the hypocrites. Okay? Don't forget, boss. Don't forget what? Unnecessary historical fact. Izmir is world famous for poppy production. They seem to have found a system for making medicines and food from poppies without criminal production. Interesting, Light Rain. Thank you for that. And this is check the plane for hidden gold bullion. Lots of advances made in military tech. Difference being advancement appear to be on par all around, says RJ. Okay. The Assault Falcons put together in Arkansas. Great plane. Okay. Why are French planes made in Arkansas? Under license, Garrett? Democrats are hellbound on making USA broke. Yep. Oh, yeah. Where did that? I put that. I can't find it now. I had the. Let me show you this. So that's something weird happened there. That's odd. Let me find it. So people have seen this now, this story, but this is what's happening in Philadelphia. Somebody's putting up fake Kamala Harris posters in Philadelphia and claiming that the Harris campaign is endorsing, the Eagles are endorsing it. It says official sponsor of, official candidate of the Philadelphia Eagles. It's supposedly Kamala Harris. She's not so black there, in a Eagles outfit, and these were posted all over bus stops in Philadelphia. While our bus shelters have locks that typically prevent the installation of unauthorized copy by non-intersection staff, the company is called Intersection. It's not a sexual thing. Intersection staff, occasionally people find a way to unlock the ad box and insert unauthorized copies. Scott Goldsmith, President and Chief Operating Officer, Intersection Media, LLC. And this is what they put up. Kamala Harris, look at that. The official candidate of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, folks, this is election interference. It's criminal activity, and it's also malicious behavior. So it wasn't just one of these. These are the 6 locations where they've been found in Philadelphia. There you go. North Broad Street and West Montgomery Avenue, just down the street at North Broad Street and Cecil B. Moore Avenue, North 16th Street and Girard, North Broad Street and Girard. And what do those neighborhoods have in common? Heavy black community presence. Yep. And then one downtown at JFK Boulevard and another on Walnut Street over in the University District. Yeah. So that is what's going on in America. Now, Philadelphia, of course, is also the place where election officials illegally hid ballot counting from Republican observers who were officially authorized to be there by the county. They did that. Philadelphia is also the place where, when Barack Obama was running for office, Black Panthers physically blocked white voters from voting, prevented them from going to the voting booths. And Eric Holder said there was no evidence of election violations of the 1964 Voting Rights Act. In fact, there was video of it, and the corrupt Obama administration refused to protect the rights of American citizens to vote. There was real election intimidation and interference by Black Panthers who were armed, blocking a polling station. And I'll tell you what, they're lucky I wasn't there, because they would have got a beat down that day. They would have been beat down. Idiots. Yep. Mayorkas is a double dingbat deuce. He just denied Zuckerberg made to collusion. Well, that guy needs to be in prison. He really does. He really does. Liberal Jews make up 70% of Biden's cabinet while being only 2% of the population. Well, they're not even 2% of the population. We have 9 million Jews. We have 330 million people. They're less than 2%. But yeah, pretty close there, Light Rain. Apparently, if one is in Brazil, you can use VPN to go X and are caught. Yeah, no, it's $9,000 fine, it said. Yeah, no. Larry Ellison is not at Dell, Garrett. Larry Ellison is with Oracle. That's why I had to correct myself. Keith Ellerson. It's Ellerson. I said Ellison. Yeah, Theodorus, welcome back to you. Oh, he took it. Was it the reed dance? Oh, I love the reed dance. Bare-breasted young maidens. Woo-hoo! Let's go to the reed dance. Oh my goodness. Keith Johnson says, I've become what's someone done when loud. I have no idea what Keith's saying. Nick says, seems South Africa's the only country to have sports that unite us and politics not divide us. Smart decision of Johan Rupert fleeing the country as a refugee because of the surging. What else we got in here? Okay, Robert Redkin says, good evening from PE. How's it going? Yeah, why can't they just accept that she's putting bums in seats and money in all their pockets? They can't. She's just amazing. I really enjoy watching. I've watched her, I think, 3 or 4 of her games. I wish I could watch all of them, but I just haven't been able to. There's a game on tomorrow night But I'll be missing that because, once again, I think I'll be missing it because I'll be on the radio tomorrow night. White and straight. Yep, that's the problem. That's the problem. She's not a lesbian, and she's white. So the WNBA hates her. Yep. Oh, and not only is she not a lesbian, she's straight, but her partner is not black. So we have women in the WNBA who are white and are straight, but they date and marry black guys, and so they're not harassed. But the white straight who date white, that goes against everything that they stand for, apparently. Yeah, how is Marcus still there? Well, it's a good question. It's because of the corrupt system we have. Yep. He's the architect of the invasion of America. Hey, Sedgefield, how's it going, man? Pablo says we have Colonel Chris literally laughing in the comments. No. I didn't laugh at your comments. I said we disagree. Are you even listening? Are you looking for attention? Anyway, yeah. So I don't know what you're talking about. Let me see if I've got my car's in the shop, not for maintenance but for inspection. So hopefully it'll pass the inspection. So yep. You say you're just trying to help, but then you say something that I didn't do. I didn't laugh at your comments. Don't say that, man. That's not true. I'm laughing at comments, but not laughing at yours. I said that we have a difference of opinion. I said that Mashatile won't be the next president of the ANC, and you said that you disagree. I'm wrong. Well, we disagree. Simple as that. You have a different view on it. People are welcome to their views. Don't try to silence people's views. You can believe whatever you want, man. Believe whatever you want. Anyway, so... just checking on something here real quick. Oh, the link is up. Cool beans. So let me see what he called it here real quick. The video's already edited for Where Was the TMO? Yeah, that's a good description for that. Where was the TMO? I like that. So, it's been up for an hour. It's got 300 views. That's not great, but not bad. So there you go. Rugby Ascendant podcast. Was the TMO on a smoke break or what? Wow, we've done 13 of these episodes already. Man, I didn't even get paid for that. He's up to 10,000 subscribers now. He only had 6,000 or 5,000 when I started doing this with him. That's awesome. He's got great content. Not just me that we do the show with. Yep, he does other ones. Yep. Yep, so that's pretty cool. Light Rain says, most of my comments are designed to get at least a little snicker. It's a win when I get a chuckle out of Chris. There you go. Oh, Pablo, see, again, I misunderstood you, so that happens. Anyway, was the TMO on a smoke break? That's the bottom line. Was he on a smoke break, folks? That's a real question at that game. Was he on a smoke break? I love it. I love it. Anyway, 79 likes. Wow, what's going on? People bailing early today. Something going on? Yeah, so what did I do here? Let me just check on my videos, see if anybody's watched the Chinese Communist one here, because I put it on literally as we started this broadcast. Not many, 131 viewers on that, so that's kind of disappointing. 204 actually. So yeah, but not many people are watching it right now. 7 comments. Let's see what the comments are. So, do we bootlick Washington or we bootlick Bricks? I think I'll side with Bricks, thank you. Oh, boy. What else? Same China that American industrialists expected. Export. Yep. Correct. Still keep loaning money, keep stealing. Okay. That's most of you guys that are commenting, but not people that I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, some of these have died off. My Ramon Cabernac one has slowed down demonstrably. I didn't get 100 views per hour. So that one's going to taper off at 7,400, which sucks. Anyway, there's a Dutch journalist outside of Rhino where he spoke with an EFF member. The EFF guy said that he admires Rhino, but they looked down on them. I didn't see that one, Pablo Charlie. Didn't see that. Lots of people look down on people. I mean, I've had arrogant black diplomats and African political leaders look down on me, but I've also had most black politicians and diplomats across Africa treat me cordially. Yep. Do you know that Depeche Mode are highly religious? Every song has a meaning. Well, they definitely has a meaning. Yeah, no, I read those lyrics the other day in my video. I thought that was great. You know, you and I, why should we get along so awfully? Yeah, I love that. That was great. I thought to finish that video. And that one, that's kind of tailed off too. But, you know, calling Africa a racist slur, that's just ludicrous. Ludicrous. That's not a consistent thing, but it's going down. So 201 to 178, you know, it's just not a lot of stuff, but each hour it goes down. So whatever. It's not about the views. It's about getting a record out there. But it would be nice to have the views and the subscribers. But, you know, whatever. You do what you do. You get what you get. You don't get what you don't get. Anyway, such is life. And no reason to moan about stupid things you can't control. Thing is, look at EFF's policies. And the song they were dancing on the stadium has nothing to do with color. Huh? Or looking down upon them. I'm not sure where you're going at, Pablo. What are you going at? Are you talking about kill the boar? You're saying that has nothing to do with color? How many brown and black boar are there? Now, I'm the one who called the Griquas and the Griquas the original Trek boars. I said that. That's just my opinion. Eric Gardner, I think that is just subscribed. Thank you for that, Eric. Appreciate it. Very kind of you. I'm not sure. Pablo, you're confusing me today. You're confusing me with your comments. I'm trying to get them. I mean, right now, all I can say about that is, you know, this is all I can say.
Going to, my mind's going blank now.
That's all I can say about it. My mind's going blank right now. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I hope the sale is still on. I was supposed to go look at some shirts and sports jackets, and got distracted by the weekend. I think it runs through today. I hope it does, which means I'll have to scoot out of here and see if there's anything still at the store, if it hasn't been cleaned out. I was going to go before the sale started and see what they had. But, yeah, so it's listed some really good price, like $59 for a sport jacket. Those things usually are $300. Best ones, the cheapest best, you usually gets about $169. So, yep. Anyway, yikes. EFF guy said Iranian is far ahead and he admires Iranian, but Iranians look down on him whilst they're dancing that particular song at stadium. Still doesn't make sense to me. Who's singing the song? The EFF singing the song? Or is Irania singing some song? I can't imagine people in Irania singing a song. There was a decent documentary on this by these two guys. I guess they're from the UK. Maybe they're from the Netherlands. Maybe that's the same video. And they did a pretty good job, but they got some factual things wrong in the beginning. So, huh? Very true. But I still miss her in the office. She types so well. Was always so damn rude. Who are you talking? Hey, John, how's it going there? Good to see you. Anyway, so the Kamala Harris thing is entertaining, I think. The people putting fake endorsements up for her. I mean, quite frankly, I've never got the whole concept of endorsements, you know. I didn't seek any endorsements when I ran for office because I don't believe in endorsements. I mean, if people want to make them, that's fine, but I'm not going to go out and look for them. I mean, if you make your decision on whom you're going to vote for based on someone else's opinion, and that's your sole basis for it, well, that just, to me, means maybe you shouldn't be voting. Maybe you shouldn't be voting. I mean, that's kind of an important thing, voting. So I'm just saying. Yeah, no, the endorsements. So that's what that's all about. They're claiming that Kamala Harris was endorsed as she's official candidate of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I've never heard of a sports team having an official political candidate. So, but the problem is there was a link there, URL, and it said PhiladelphiaEagles.com, and it had /vote. It actually works. It's something the Eagles have done to try to get people to sign up to vote. They shouldn't be doing that. That's not appropriate. That's inappropriate. I don't think, you got a lot of churches that have problems with that. Some are okay with it. But really, nonsense. Anyway, so, folks, I'm going to wrap it up here, eh? Wrap it up and you guys get out here early today. Endorsements, the false reality of any celeb, famous person would hope for their followers to go with. Exactly, supernatural crypto coins. Yep. Appreciate that. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for being here. And please feel free to go watch my content. I'd appreciate that. I've been very busy here, folks. Let's see. Since August 24th, I produced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 videos in the past week. 17 videos. Yeah. Is she going to be the eagle? I have no idea who's going to be what eagle. Conscious Caracles live stream. Okay, well, let me see if I can direct you over there to that. Those who are still here. Customization. Let me go to live. Customization. See if I can direct you to that. Redirect. I don't know if he's allowed me to do it yet. You got to do it. Come on. Conscious Caracal. It's got an upcoming one, Accelerating Global something. Is that the one he's on now? No, that's September 13th. Can't add it. Yeah, it's not there. Can't do it. Anyway, thanks for being here, folks. You can go over to Conscious Caracal and find them on your own then. So, thanks. Oh, yeah, the Iranian thing. That's today. Cheers. Now, he's talking to you, Stridham. I'm going to get used back on the program at some point. You guys take care. Appreciate it. And have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.